I am Chaos Incarnate, dang it. But anyway. We are going to be making some monsters in my world today. You guys can have the opportunity to affect said monsters. Be it for good or for bad. Here we are. Chaos Incarnate. Anyway. Also, I'm going to be making River's character sheet too. Need to put her in there. She's a spellcaster. She has bonuses. The only reaction she has is attack of opportunity. I don't have an image for Rose, so I mean River. I have to actually make an image for River. Chaos! Alright, hold on. I should probably do this here too, since I keep forgetting to do that. Oh, it's already done. We're already done. Let's go. I thought about actually jumping into the DnD chat I had to just talk with people about making ideals, but then I realized if I go into the D&D chat, everybody who's like on my list of stuff is gonna know what I've made, and I kind of don't want that. Which I actually have I done the Helga's thing? You know, I made her actual character sheet. Which technically, actually, I probably should do that. Because I like my NPCs to actually be, like, have character sheets with them. Is my thing. Let me see if I can change it real quick. Because I actually am basing her off a character that I had done. So what do you think is best, Goof? Do what I think, yeah. Anyway, how you doing, Lucy? How you doing, Infinite? You doing good? You little bacchus?
The person who doesn't know how to use an air fryer. Damn.
Okay, you know what? I'm just kidding.
That was wavy. That was.
Oops. Her subclass, I made her of... I think it was Peace or Twilight that I made her. I'm trying to find the sheet that I've, like, made her. I'm waiting for a game to come out, but it's still 3 weeks away. Which game are you waiting for? You big chillin'? Nice. Gotta love it when you big chill. Also tell me if the music's too loud, because I have music playing in Roll20 right now. I can never know when it's actually, like, too loud or too soft. Actually, she might have been Twilight. No Pokemon? Which Pokemon? Oh no, not Pokemon. It's a Switch game. Music is pretty loud, but not overpowering. I can lower it down a little bit more. There you go. I just always gotta make sure, because it's so hard to tell sometimes. The only Pokemon release is Champions, but that's PvP, and I don't care for. That's fair. Well, a lot of people, it's like a hit or a miss when it comes to PvP stuff, in all honesty. Let me write down her name. I gotta find her last name too. River. I have a big PDF file for them. I haven't put it in the format. I have a last name for her. I'm just gonna find. I'm gonna find it real quick. Also, guys, you like the little thing at the bottom? Look at the little guys I got. We can build them up together, guys. We can. That's another fish item. That's a fish. Timmy Trout. What the hell? I should ask you guys what I should put on my character, because right now I just got this stuff, but we got big fish, we got little fish. If we have little fish, we can get a little shield, which we can do the little captain's with. But anyway, back to what I was doing. Oh, that was her last name. Niverid Billion. Yep, there we go. And she was a cleric, and it was acrylic of Twilight, it looks like. That I made her. She is a water genasi. Oh my god. If it'll let me write it in there. There you are. Jesus. Oh wait, I should probably just say genasi. Water genasi. Genasi. Character type, humanoid. Level 9. Background, acolyte. I kind of feel bad for Sir Hex, because I had to use an NPC for him because I couldn't find his character sheet. But he died anyway, so still it's kind of sad. It's called Tomodachi Life. Used to play it a lot when I was young. You were probably old already when it came. You right. And when they finally make it a ooh, interesting. I embrace the hag. Remember this. Acolyte. What does Acolyte give you again? shade out of this. Because I kind of like making my NPCs actual character sheets, because one day I never know if someone actually wants to play this character. I find the ideal interesting to me, just in case if it ever happens to anybody. Because I will never not deny anyone from playing one of the characters I have, as long as they're alive. I don't think you could deny the hag if you wanted to. UNC, you're 30, basically. I am, for the internet, I am pretty fucking stork. I was there when the tablet was written. Holy symbol. And onyx. And mirror. With a silver frame. Prayer book. Shinobi. Would not be that. What is? What the fuck is a prayer wheel again? Pray wheel. Prayer wheel. What the fuck is that? Let me go see what that is. Yeah, no, she'll have a prayer wheel. Damn. Yeah, no, that is exactly what she has. Not a book. Greetings, dear. How you doing today? And I don't mean Britain. You were basically there when they still had kingdoms and knights. I was there when I saw the queen born. I'm doing good. How are you? Doing well. I'm just trying to make some D&D monsters, but also make one of these NPCs that's going to be used on Monday. I do something special with my NPCs when it comes to D&D. I actually make them character sheets because I never know if one of my people who is just going to randomly join doesn't have a character sheet, so I let them play one of my many NPCs that I have. But you guys as the viewers can torture the people in my world.
How big of a fan are you of Bob?
I would scream too. You had the right to scream right there. That was horrific. You have 5 of those. Actually, you would have 20 of these, actually. Investments. Yeah, I thought I could drag and drop it. This. Mince. From the temple of fragmented memories. Fragment memories. No wait, it's fragmented, right? No, am I losing my mind? Where is my bookmark at? Temple of fragment memories. Okay, fragment. I got jump scared by that. Understandable. I'm actually debating about jumping into one of the D&D servers I have, but I'm kind of like on the fence about it, because one, I want chat to have fun with making these monstrosities. Two, the type of things I'm going to be making, some of the people in that D&D server will probably have to fight, and I don't think they would feel very appreciative if I told them what they had to fight. You know, gotta leave some surprises, because some of the stuff I already made is kind of horrendous. What did you say? And they have have a swimming speed too. Nice. So with this background, that's 3. Yeah, that's what I thought. Elvish, Halfling, and Celestial. Did I spell that right? I did not. Thank you. Halfling spelled it correct though. Ooh, acid. Nice. I think only water has the acid resistant, everything else is different. Why did I add H in that? I don't know. I just did. Because I felt like it, I guess. This is a little bit more work because usually it's better to just use NPC sheets for NPCs because there's a lot to do when putting into characters. But like I said, I'm a little extra, I guess is the right term I should be using for myself. Wisdom will be the build modifier. Do 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 do. Okay. I'm just gonna get the important stuff out of the way. And then I will work on everything else. Because I just want to get her base things done. Everything else that's important, I'll probably do off stream because I don't want them to see what spell she has prepared. Okay. Okay. Everything else I will do it another time because let's go make some monsters. He is actually dead, so I gotta put him somewhere. I'll just put him right. Well, I should put him right there because technically that was an image of just Grace, and I could technically do something with Grace, but she's no longer able to fight in combat because of the stuff they did. Greetings, dear. Okay, so I made off-screen something called the bleeding pores. So we got the bleeding pores. Actually, you guys wanna here? Hold on. Let me go to an area where I know nobody's at. I'll just go right here. That's why not. Okay. So we got the bleeding pores. We got the vile wound. And last time they fought, the group fought Shadow Servants and the Shadow Warden. I actually like how the bleeding pores came out. Like, that actually came out really nicely. I kind of making my monsters look like a hot mess, just because they're supposed to look not totally intact and look off-putting and not look all together. Also, I really like actually how the warden came out. These two are whatever, like legitly these are two or whatever. But I like how these two came out like a lot. These two came out really nicely. I like it a lot. It is too scary. This guy is actually more scarier. But he would have been scary because they're in the total darkness right now. But this is fine. They're gonna be fine. So my next group of people are actually gonna be fighting these two creatures. So like, we got the bleeding pores and the vile wound. I did horribly rough sketches of them, but again, I kind of like that. I might do more of that. I kind of wish I was a little bit more detailed with this guy, like I was with this guy, but like, it will do. I actually didn't draw. Oh yeah, I gotta make a better version of the infected things, don't I, too? Okay, I think I know what I'm gonna make. NPC sheet. We're going to... Should I draw it first and then figure out a name for them? Would that be a good idea? I kind of like that idea a little bit. You know what? We'll go with that. Let's do that real quick. Let's go to Krita. Let me get my Krita. Oh, it's because probably that I'm showing this off. There we go. Just captured it. So I have this saved like this size because of how big the thing actually needs to be. Is around like this big. But now the question is, what do I want to make now? Because I made my shadow people in this one. I decided to put them not in the same thing, but this one I just kind of did. Because like, here's my shadow server, and I just willy-nilly made that. Okay. I'm thinking about what are the creatures, because a lot of the creatures from him, shadowy, bloodlace, just very abomination monstrosities. I could make Yaga. I've been making Yaga sheet, and she's been kind of like batshit crazy looking. Maybe I shouldn't make Yaga right now. We should wait, because Yaga's kind of like a big boss. I shouldn't make that when they're not even ready to fight that. You know what, let's just doodle something. How about that? Let's just doodle. And I'll figure out what I want to do. Because I have already some ideals of what I want to do. So okay, where's my thing at? I could go with the I could make regret. Or so I tend to do, where is it? Yeah, this pen. And we keep it messy, because like it's supposed to be like a free form thing where regret is like has multiple heads of sorts. It has oddly placed limbs. Let's go. Hi Sandy, how you doing? I think at one point maybe I should actually try drawing these creatures detailed, but I kind of like the off-putness of them looking so poorly put together. Oh no, this is not one of the monsters you're fighting. This is one I'm just like creating. I have different types of abominations and whatnot. Creatures that are really hard on the eyes and can't figure out what's what with it. Like tar spindling together like a spider's web. Trying to figure out what its form is. I already showed what to chat what you guys are fighting. You guys are making a big deal of nothing. Your fight's gonna go fine. Oh, so what's wrong with this monster? What's so unappealing about this monster? Oh, it's still dated. That's not where I was going at with that, but I. Maybe I should ask you, guys, which monster, if I should make more detailed, because like I draw my monsters like relatively quick right now, just because I want to make them look so weird. Because I have a couple already made, but which one should I do more detail work of? If you guys are interested in that. I think this is what I'm gonna call Choking Regret, as this was gonna be this guy's name. No, there's a filter that I want to use. Ooh, that looks cool. That's kind of cool. Cancel though. I might do that for like making like carvings into something. That was kind of cool. Me trying to figure out what I'm doing because I'm curious. Oh, that's interesting. What the fuck? That looks toxic. Kind of liked it. Not what I'm looking for though. I like playing with shit. I need to stop it, but I can't. What is this? Oh, that looks demented. What is this? Interesting. Oh, okay. actually. Hold on. Hmm. If I invert it. I'm having fun just playing with the colors. Anyway. Oh wait, that's what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Could you guess what kind of monster this damage? The monster this words are hard, y'all. Can you imagine what kind of damage I do with this monster? If you're thinking poison, you'd be incorrect. If you're thinking acid, you also would be incorrect. These monsters are not supposed to be easy on the eye. And I hope I portrayed that enough. was gonna call it. Okay. Okay. Where is it? There it is.
More one-on-ones because it's better to have like not like have a whole party group together, so that everyone has a chance to build up their characters, build up their.
Building regret. Build. Taunting regret. We'll make it a large size creature. It is. Should I make it an aberration? I think I'll make it an aberration. I mean, I could. Yeah, it's an aberration for this one. Large aberration. Aberration. Chaotic evil. This one's kind of gonna be higher up because it's probably gonna be spell casting. Kind of wanted to do. Actually, no. So we'll do medium. We'll do medium. Medium aberration, chaotic evil. I think it's gonna have. I feel like Dex and Charisma will be more of its highest things. Oh, I got a hammer. Anyway. I'm probably gonna give it the same thing that I gave these Shadow Walkers with their movement. Gilded Shadow glide. Actually, 10 feet walking and 10 feet walking and 30 feet shadow glide. I don't want to make them too deadly, so I'm thinking maybe a CR7. No, I'll make them CR3s actually. Let's do that. Let's make them CR3s. Because I feel like I'm going to pair them up with something deadlier. Which, if I got Taunting Regret, I want Banishing Vengeance to be beside them. Am I making too much strong monsters at the beginning right now? I really should probably work on something weaker, because Banishing Vengeance would be really high up there, considering what I have notes for that. Maybe I should wait on Banishing Vengeance, but Taunting Regret's fine. Taunting Regret I think was gonna make a CR3 anyway. Edge Professional bonus would be 2. Token size 1 because it's making medium. It has no armor. I would say strength would be its lowest. Then that would make no sense because it's a... I'll say this one has physical form. Let me go look at something. Yeah, I'll say this has physical form. I won't make it like that because, like, that would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense. Greetings, dear. I'm trying to make some monsters real quick. I already just drew one up really quickly for the fuck of it. Because I like to draw them a lot, and I want to draw them looking really messed up with my monsters because I don't want them to look, like, make sense. So this one is called Taunting Regret is this one. Oh no, that's not for Monday. This is not for Monday. Don't worry. You would not be facing this. Because if you were facing this, then I'll have to start making Smiteful Vengeance, and that one's a little too high for you guys. They usually Taunting Regret and Smiteful Vengeance usually are together and hand in hand. What you guys are facing will be known as Bleeding Pores and Vile Wound. I'm really excited for Bleeding Pores because that one came out nicer than I intended to. I was really excited for that. Thank you. I have I have the more mundane ones, which, so this is my Shadow Servant, and this is my Shadow Warden right here. I had that in last campaign. I really liked how these two came out. Again, because like I don't try to do any really line work with it, I just make blobs of space and do this, because I want my monsters, especially monsters that are made by him, to look unnaturally hard to process to the human mind and eyes. So I want them to look disconjointed and just not like very off-putting. I don't want them to make any type of sense to the human eye, which I think I did okay with. Because I know with Taunting Regret, I'm making that a CR3. I kind of want to make it a spellcaster too, but that might accidentally bump it up way
there
too
you go,
much.
that's perfect.
Unless I
Just
keep its
keep
HP
doing
low.
that.
I might do that. I might make it a spellcaster with lowish HP just to balance it out. Yeah, I might do that. I might do that. Because if I have too much HP and too much spellcasting shit, that can get a little bit daunting to my players. I would share you my bleeding. I would be happy to review and look over stuff if you're. Yes. Actually, there's one of them I want you to look at because I'm going to be using it for Monday. I had to change a lot of stuff on it because I thought, my husband told me that's a little fucking mean. I was like, okay, I'll take it off. Okay, I'll do that another time. I'm sorry. I will show you what they look like. How about that? So this right here is the bleeding pores, and this right here is the vile wound. Two of the creatures I'm going to be using for Monday. I'm really happy how they look. Yeah, they look cool, don't they? I'm kind of like, this one looks a little derpy and stupid, but I kind of like that considering how it's made. Yeah, and the eyes and the mouths are just, it's just teeth. It's just teeth. For my Shadow Servants, they're kind of basic, where it's like, you know, I made it a CR, I think I made them a CR1. I did. They were challenging 1, and then I made my Warden a challenging 4. However, them being together, they get special abilities because certain monsters pair well with each other. Bleeding pores and vile wounds. Like anything that's because there's a reason for the names I make with these creatures. Depending on how their name is, depending on what type of discarded part they came from him. And if they came from the same discarded pile, they work well with each other. Kind of like the ideal with wolves have pack tactics. These have some of them, yeah. So with I won't give it away, but some of them have bonuses known as conjointment, resonating relution, and fiendish favor, like things like that I call it. I try not to reveal too much because those who are in the audience, I like them to figure out what they're doing, but I also like my players sometimes when they do watch my stuff to figure out it too. I'm showing Shadow Servant and the Shadow Warden because I already used them in my campaigns, but I did not write in here for the purpose for the campaign last time. I did not mention their fiendish, wait, no, these are the shadow ones. This would be, the cold link. They have the cold link, is what they have. Where, whenever a shadow servant can use its turn to amplify a shadow warden or a shadow pawn, known as the Nixus. Show me my demise. Do you want to see it? I can share it. I can share the image at least. because I don't mind sharing the image. You just won't know what they do. So the first one is called Bleeding Pores. This is Bleeding Pores. And the other one is Vile Wound, which is this. Those are the two monsters you guys will be fighting Monday. How much you'll fight of each one, who's to say? You'll figure it out. Which one's more deadly than the other, you'll find out once you see it. So yes, very red. Last time on Dragon Ball Z, my players fought the Shadow Servant and the Shadow Warden. Which in all intents and purposes, you have the possibility of fighting them again in the future. However, like I said, certain monsters pair well with each other, while other ones will fight each other for domination and because technically these guys are on the same side, that doesn't mean they're on the same group. And some groups don't pair well with each other. And they actually will try to feast on each other. And if these things manage to feast on one another successfully, a mutation will happen and you will fight one of my many fucked up creatures that I have. It is like the sadistic version of a fusion going on in Yu-Gi-Oh! You do not want any of these things to fuse together. Would not go well. I have no, I love my players because if I fuse them together, they're at minimal going to be a CR 13. At max, actually no, I can't say at max because there's the little pawns, and then there's the mini bosses that they have, and then I have 3 bosses within each group, and I have about like 7 groupings within this. So if a boss fuses with another boss, how the fuck did you fuck that up? And also, why are these 2 bosses together? That would be horrific. I don't want that to happen. But currently I am working on this thing, the Taunting Regret. I'm currently working on making the stat blocks for this monster here. And you can probably tell there is a definitely color theme with each one. Maybe it has an effect on it. Thank you for the lyric, dear. Enjoy your food. Maybe there's a reason why they have that color theme. Maybe certain colors fuse well with each other and work well with each other. Or maybe I just like to use certain pretty things to make it look monstrositous, because I really like how this one came out. Like, it's hard to focus on this one, I'm not gonna lie, and I like that. These creatures are not meant to be easy on the eyes. Especially because, like, aberrations, monstrosities are a concept that humans are not, well, adverse in or specialize in. They're very beyond our comprehension. So I wanted to try to put that into an art piece. That's why I'm not gonna have, like, line art with most of my stuff when I draw monsters. Anyway, so yeah.
Oh crap.
Last campaign. These 2, the group fought these things. This campaign, y'all are gonna fight these 2 things. Maybe you guys are gonna fight this, or maybe I'll just do a fucky wucky and mix and matches some monsters together. We will see. Right now, we are working on this monster. We are working on the Taunting Regret. It is a medium-sized aberration, chaotic evil. Most of these things will be chaotic evil. If you find one that's not chaotic evil, be prepared. That's not good. To be fair, any monster you're gonna fight here is typically not gonna be, ah, yes, I'm gonna have a great time with it. No, most definitely you will not have a great time with it. Trying to figure out what I want to do, because right now I am looking at my fucking sheets at the current moment, and these are all my high level stuff. Where's my lower level things at? Where's my lesser CRs at? Damn. Hello? Is that me I'm looking for? I can see it, guys. Anyway, where? No, that's CR16. That's CR19. That's we don't talk about her. That was for a different campaign. We don't talk about her. We don't talk about Bruno. No. Oh, Jesus. Let me just... Okay, I can't find the old thing. We'll fuck it. We'll just look for... We'll just look for some random CR3 monsters in D&D and then, like, get an idea about what I want to do with it. How about that? We'll do that. I will look at a green hag and see how I want to do this then. Ooh, making this thing invisible sounds hateful as fuck. Let's not do that. Sounds awful. I don't want to be evil. God, there's not a lot of things. Oh no, I forgot. Spellcasters are like really high up there, aren't they? They're like usually CR6 and above, aren't they? Yeah, casters are actually pretty high. Damn it. Hold on, let me go see. I may look at that, because they tend to be higher up on the level. My daughter says you look really pretty and she likes your hair. Thank you! Say hi to me! Hi! This is my D&D DM outfit that I've really been rolling as of late just to see. I haven't got my 3D rolls as of late to be. So, Sag. But here we are. Oh my gosh. What is the lowest spellcast? There it is. Okay. Well, I mean, hold on. We can work with this. We can work with this. We can and we shall. Bejeepers, why is this not in chronological order? She says hi, very excited. Yay! I'm excited too. Dang it, do I have to make these CR4s? I do not want to make them CR4s. Because I don't want him to be the big boss. The big boss would be banishing vengeance. That guy sucks. I mean, I could No. We technically do not do that. We do not do this. We are looking for the lowest thing with this, and we are going to base it off this, and then we're going to go tee-hee ha-ha in my corner. Let me see. Brother, I wish to understand which creatures have this thing. Do I need to pull out the DM book? Do I need to get the DM book? I will get the DM book if I must. I will. I shall. I'll do it. I'll freaking do it. Filter, Arcane. Fine, I'll do this. I'll do it! You'll never stop me now, Copper! We'll do from this to this filter. Wow, okay. Gee willikers. Oh my gosh, Scooby. If what? What? Okay, I can look that up. I can look that up. We will look this up. Maybe. Did I shout you out? I didn't. I don't think I shouted you out. Hold on. I'm so forgetful.
Isn't working, but thank you for the lurk. Have fun wandering around the mansion. Be careful, there are things in here that bite.
Funny that you say that I hit my hand on the corner of something and it sounds like I did that. Considering what level everyone's gonna be and stuff like that, I feel like having this at 15 AC wouldn't be the worst. I'm gonna say that's natural armor too. Okay. We're going to leave strength at a 9. We're going to use dex at a 15. Sounds reasonable. Constitution 14. I will leave intelligence at a 10. It's semi to intelligence, but not that much. We're gonna leave this at a good old 8. Which will be -1 still. Charisma. Say we're gonna have that at a 15. So let's see. We got the -1. It's 2. I think 14 is 2 as well. Yes, it's a 2. That's a 0. It's a -1. And this is a 2. So it only has like that stuff. And we will say... hold on. Do I want to give it kind of some freaky sight? I don't want to give it blind sight because that's a little too much. But I'm kind of... Nah, I'll give it like superior dark vision, so that means it has sun sensitivity. I'll do that. I will do that. So like... Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. It'll have sun sensitivity. If they can guess what kind of heads are on this thing, good for them. If they cannot, well, it's okay. Oh, I remember why I didn't make these CR ones. Ah, no, okay, they are CR ones. I'm gonna give them less AC because I just remembered why I did. I just remembered why. I remember what they did. I remember what taunting. I remember what taunting regret did. Oh no. Okay. There's only allowed to be 2 of those on the field at a time. I remember the 21st of September. Yeah, they have 3 heads for a reason. Anyway. I'm not an evil DM, but man, I like making some weird things. They're easy to kill, which is a good and bad thing. Let's do that. 46 plus 10. 25, 25, 25, 25, yeah, 25. 25 sounds right. 25 sounds right. Elves are foolish. I bet your smooth face kinda could not even handle one mug of Dwarvish Ale. Are you suggesting you're gonna give me free liquor? Then hand it over, coward. It better be mead. Ale's kind of like, eh. I mean, yeah, Ale's kind of eh. I'd rather take mead. Or bourbon. Or whiskey. Actually, a White Russian right now sounds really nice. Damn it, I've been really wanting a White Russian. Rum sounds really good too, actually. I have not drunk quite a bit because I am too broke to afford alcohol. So if you're giving me free alcohol, hand it over. It would do further to stealth and... I like your spirit. Thank you. You either love me or you hate me. It's one of the two. And then acrobatics. Deep speech. Gonna get sunlight sensitivity because most of these things do not like the sun. I always like to roll out. But I still think you are not ready for Dwarvish spirits. You're just being stingy about not sharing your alcohol, that's what it sounds like. Understandable, alcohol is not cheap. What is this one? This one's the aspect of... Okay, I remember. Enough to turn any mundane lizard into a fire-breathing ward. With one gulp. So, intense fireball? Is that what that is? It doesn't taste like shit like fireball, does it? I don't know why. I don't like cinnamon drinks. Cinnamon's like a very unique flavor that I'm not like really fond of, even in desserts. Unless it's a cinnamon roll, then I'll eat the shit out of that, but then again, that's also the sugar talking, but cinnamon, just space cinnamon things, I'm like, eh. Not if it's spiced or anything like that. Fuck yeah! I love the spice rum. I'm getting distracted. It tastes like the mountain, like, patrol, I don't know. That sounds like discarded moonshine now. Me thinking. I'm sorry if that hurt you guys' eyes. Actually, hold on. Let me go look these motherfuckers up. Where are you? Martha! 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 Gosh, my eyes! That's not what I'm thinking. It's the other dark vision. What's the other dark vision? What is the other dark vision? Is it superior dark vision? Draggers have that, don't they? If I even said that name, I don't use them very often. Most people in my campaign do not go into the Underdark. If I could remember. I guess that's not what we're gonna remember. Do I want to make them a spellcaster? I don't have to make them a spellcaster. I could do something funny with them. I could do something funny with them. No, I already have a creature like that. It wouldn't be funny. Why am I like this? Do you remember? I'll just call it True Dark Vision. I forgot the name to actually what this thing is called. 120 feet. And they're passive perception. Age 14. Create cute naked moles that explode by untouched, just shit posting. Funny story about that. I do have certain creatures that when you do a certain amount of damage, they will blow up in your face. I do have that. Currently, no one's fighting in anytime soon in my world, hopefully. But yes, I do have things that if they damage it to a certain point, it just blows up, and they take a certain amount of damage too. I forgot what they're called, but I have them somewhere in here. I think it's Slumbering Incubator, I think is what they're called. No, not the incubator. It's the eggs. I think it's... Oh, I found them. Breathless Newborns is what they're called. I don't use them because a lot of people do not like the ideal of that in campaigns, so I try not to make them uncomfortable with it. That's usually what goes to my really fucked up, like, Dark Souls games that I make. Because that stuff is off-putting as hell. Well, Dark Souls, like, Bloodborne with a mixture of one other thing that I can't remember off the top of my head at the current moment. It's not Berserk. It's actually something cutesy, which people are like, why do you go from wholesome niceness to I am having a therapy session right now? There's no in between. It's just one or the other. It's either cutesy or completely utterly messed up. I actually gotta make sure everybody's okay with that, because depending on where they go, that creature might appear, and I need to make sure to probably put trigger wordings for that episode. I might have to put trigger wordings for the next episode about gore, because that one actually is gonna have a decent amount of gore in it. Ah! Thank you for the raid, dear. Were you doing Voop chat today? You were! I knew it. I knew you were going to.
Hello, sir. I'm pretty sure you've already sucked me dry like a Slurpee, so I'm just gonna come over here and grab him.
That was a delay sound. That was hella delay. My only problem with exploding enemies, they are not believable. How would a species survive if they explode randomly? You have to have well, no. So the thing about my world is which makes sense. A lot of things wouldn't do that, but actually, what it would make sense with mine, because a lot of the things in here, I have in my world something known as the 7 concepts, aka when the gods and dragons were at war, they finally went at peace to help a bigger threat. During this time, humans, when they were watching dragons and the divines fight with each other, emotions grew heightened, sensitive, to the point that this spill of divinity and arcane energy manifest into these lesser entities that were soon gaining power based off feeding off emotions from humans, and they became known as the 7 concepts. They went by the names of he, him, he, she, they, them, it, we, you. They, them, it had died and were consumed by he. He is the negativity of everything and has slowly building an army to consume the world under a new type of acceptance, because everyone is not showing themselves equal and they're hypocrites, and so he wants to devour them to live in the blissfulness of the unyielding war of decay and rot. Okay, that makes it more plausible. Yeah. So because he is that which was trying to destroy everything, everything made from him is these vile creatures that are hard to comprehend, these monstrosities, a lot of not undead but aberrations, monstrosities. Undead are actually made in my world is when monsters die, they leave a core, and from this core miasma leaks out from them, and a build of miasma actually makes these undead creatures thrive and rise from the dead with these rotting corpses that they eat and stitch to each other from. Anyway, nom nom time, everyone. Have it. Thank you, dear. Thank you for the raid. Take care of yourself, everyone who needs to leave. But I'd love to have you here if you'd like to just listen to my bullshit. So he makes all these horrific things that people fear, hate, despise, shun away and stuff, which that's why there are certain things that these things are already dead. Basically, they're not really living, and so that's why these things called the breathless babes, or the breathless infants, are a type of thing to lower someone's guard and immediately blow up in their face. It's pretty horrific. The incubators are just as twisted. A lot of these things are pretty twisted in their own right. Because the bleeding pores and the vile wound, I'm going to be describing how those are going to be rising from the depths of whatever the hell he is at. So yeah, so there are the 7 concepts. Of the 7 concepts, 3 of these concepts had been consumed. One was in an eternal slumber because it was being constantly murdered and revivified. Does he have a motive, or is it like side effect kind of deal, like humans can step on an ad and not notice? He does have a motive for this. As the embodiment of everything negative, he is by instinct driven to the madness that what he is, and his madness is just always hungry, and so he always tries to devour, encase, and he accepts everything. He will welcome you in at the cost of you losing of who you are. Until me drunk, you're fine. He is trying to consume until he is filled. Yeah, I'm glad you guys have not, because I did like a little mini one-shot off stream, and I have confused all my players. I mean, describe me drunk. I mean, you describe me drunk. Drunk? Nice. I mean, you described me drunk. Did I? Either way. Because you talk about alcohol, but either way. Because I did an episode where they were talking with you, and you is very confusing, because you talks in third person, and they say you all the time. So whenever they ask who are you, you will say you is you, and the problem is you also takes on the form of a person's reflection in a mirror. So when you're staring at a mirror and you see your reflection and it says you is you, I have confused my players like there was no tomorrow. Who are you? You is you. What are you doing? You is here. What do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Describe. Yeah. It basically is. So you is the youngest of these 7 concepts. You is the most, all of them are accepting in their own ways, but you actually reaches out as best as can to others who feel lost, empty, as if missing something, because it wishes to make them whole again, to be a complete, like the reflection in a mirror. There shouldn't be pieces missing like a puzzle. It should be a whole you, if you will. So, you has always done its best to reach out and talk with people, but it's not the most intelligent with its choice of words. For humans, it's old, it's ancient, but with other gods and stuff, it's very young. It's relatively new. The oldest ones is he and she. Then it's they. Then it's we, it, them, and then there's you. They, them, it were consumed by him, so all there is now that's left is him, she, you, we are the only ones left. We was actually trapped by him, which recently got free, so we is now out there in the world again. I feel like I'm describing a scene from that fucking game Among Us right now. So, either way, I did this to be funny, and I like the ideal of it because each one has a different aspect. She is under the concept of war. He is the concept of, because I have these concepts, because the churches were made underneath them. Hold on. Let's see. Where's my thing? So, the preservers of virtue. Humility, charity, chastity, kindness, temperaments, patience, and diligence. Also, their opposites of which they are is pride, like, those are like the 7 concepts. Like, naturally. But I changed them where the 7 concept of my world is life, fate, love, hope, festival, war, and dreams. So, she was dreams, he is war, they were life, them was fate. No, you is dreams, she was hope. I have to write these down again. I have to remember them because my notes are like all over the fucking place. Either way, each one had their own kind of thing, trying to base it off like the 7 virtues actually like we have, but in a different format in this world. But he was originally meant to be the guardian and the concept of war, and he went batshit crazy. Yeah, he lost his fucking mind. Because war is always festering and never ending, no matter the scale it is. It always is something that devours and destroys. So right now, the only church that is actually left that is of its original thing, because the other churches had to merge together to make sure the other concepts wouldn't, like the powers of the concepts wouldn't fully die, aka the artifacts that were given to these churches wouldn't become rendered useless. They had to actually combine their churches, and the only original church that wasn't fully destroyed and had to merge was the concept of war, because at the end of the day, even though he wants to destroy everything, he still has a soft spot for his individuals under that. Does she have a bad side? Not specifically evil, like how, like in mythology of the gods. Oh yeah, no, they they are not evil nor good. It's just because of the circumstances in this world, evil became twisted by its concept, and he became something of unending hunger and just boredom. So he became evil after so many centuries. She, like life, is a neutral standing. Has its good points, it has its bad points. Life doesn't go out of her way to help people. She will see you suffering, and she would be like, this is a path that you have to walk, and you're earning your right on that path. So she is neutral. She is not somebody who goes out their way to harm those, and she's not goes out her way to help those. You, on the other hand, like I said, is very eager to talk with people, to reach out for them, to help them. They want to be with humans, because at the end of the day, humans made them in the seat of power, and they like the ideal of what humans do. So they always try to mingle with them, try to help them as best they can, but you is very childlike in this manner, and children aren't very well at explaining things. And even though they say everything bluntly, it becomes rather confusing, because the simpler you give an explanation to somebody, the more people tend to overthink it. Now, we, on the other hand, we is a embodiment of teamwork and a community, and it will do everything it can. We will do everything in its power to help, but it is limited, because the more that a society is isolated or distrust in it, we doesn't have a lot of power, because it has to only grow when a community is strong. No, you're fine, you're totally fine. I like nerding out. People don't get to hear a lot about my lore on these one-shots, so when I have the chance to flips hair to the side, and when I have a chance to talk about the thing that I've been making for years, I will speak my mind and your ear off. Which makes me think, since we has been set free and they're in that area, we is still weak, and I have to figure out what to do with that. Also, hello there, everyone. How everyone? Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too, dear. I hope you're doing well today. For some reason, my dyslexia was having a challenge to read that. We were just nerding out about my world because I do funny little things. Because currently, right now in my world, the gods are kind of disconnected. They are there, but the element of chaos is condensed so much that it's hard for them to get through that layer to talk verbally with people unless they have already been there. There are certain gods that are still in my world. Thank you for the pets here. There are still certain gods that are still able to be there because of what they are, and because they have essence still within this world that they can still speak, but they are kind of almost trapped in this place too. Furlong is one of these beings that are still here. That, because as the god of travels, he, in roads, he originally, I believe, was human too, if I don't remember correctly off the top of my head. I might be misremembering. But Furlong likes people and always finds a joy in making new paths for these for humans. So he's definitely still here in the world. And actually, my players actually got to meet Furlong. Furlong takes many interesting shapes. What? It's not these? What? You're just having fun, like, up and kind of sounds like new gods. I don't know new gods very well. Opposed to old gods. Oh, you mean just like a mythology in general kind of thing? Or I thought that was like, I thought you were talking about like a different like module or lore story for it. Gotcha. Yeah, exactly. The old or is very much stuck in their ways kind of thing, while the new is more adapting and adjusting to the setting that they're in. But yeah, and then especially with the big fight for humanity, because dragons wanted all of humanity for themselves, while the gods wanted all of humanity for themselves. For both sides having both good and evil purposes for this, and they all joined hands together to fight each other to claim humanity of their own. But doing so, the 7 concepts came to being, and with that, new threats came to being, and they had to push aside their stuff, as the gods had to withdraw. As the more they stay there, because the thing about good and evil, like with light and darkness, the more you have something there, the other also is greater to grow. Like, the brighter a candle is, the higher and larger a shadow will be cast. So the gods had to withdraw to ensure less damage would be done, and the dragons made an oath to not be something of a violent. They are the observers. They are scholarly figures that pass down and teach humans about methods to better their life, but they are no longer allowed to impact the lives of humans. The most they can impact now with humans is their bloodline, aka the Crotronic bloodline and teachings and whatnot, but they can no longer physically be beside them to shape the world with them. Having human personality makes the sound closer to it. Yes, the 7 concepts, if we had to compare them to Furlong and that Furlong, they would be like infants in comparisons. They are relatively still new, still young to the other well-known deities of D&D. Pretty much. Though they are as old as civilization itself, but even civilization and to divinity's eye, civilization is still an infant. So, there's that. I've been working... I have made about 3 different settings for D&D, and when I decided to do this project of mine of, like, getting other streamers, be it, VTubers, PNGers, IRL, no face, whatever they are comfortable with, I had to decide which setting would be the best setting to use, and this was the setting that I decided on, given the circumstances of, this is the less destructive world I have right now, because currently this is a time, at least to civilization's understanding, this is a time of utter peace. There are other things underneath at works, but you would only learn about this the more you got deeper into searching the world and learning and interacting with different figures. Thank you for the care package. So, to most of my players, this world had looked funny, this was peaceful, but the more they start actually interacting with the main quote-unquote storyline I have here, and very key figures, the more they realize there is a quiet storm brewing. Is this a new campaign world? Yeah, this is a homebrew world I have. This is one of like 4 or 5 I've made. No, this is my second one that I like them, like, this is my top 3 pick for the campaigns that I like. I had another one that I really did enjoy, but with this project called Once Upon a, because I do a series of one-shots with other players who would like to join me, streamer-wise, for them to come over here, play their characters, promote themselves, and have a good time to play things that they normally don't play. Because one-shots are easier to do than actually having a constant commitment to a single campaign, because that just gets a bit difficult due to IRL reasons and burnout and everything like that. So, and this is one of the easier ones I have for doing one-shots in. But regardless, because my other favorite one that I like is, wow, things are really messed up. War is everywhere. politically, there are betrayal, there are schemes, like, because when I first started doing D&D, I asked people what they would like in the world. Some people were like, I would like a lot of like open world, or some people like, I actually like to deal with like politicians and political conflicts and within kingdoms and whatnot. They're like, I want a lot of battles, so I made certain worlds that are based off certain things. And the one that I liked the most actually had a lot of political conflict, internal and external wise. That did a lot of gray line moral stuff, made everyone have a moral dilemma that questioned their ideology and faith. That was fun to me. Because just because someone's a bad guy doesn't mean they were the bad guy. Or if you are a bad guy, I need to think of a valid reason of why you became this monster, because monsters are not born. Monsters are created, or sometimes even forced into a corner to be so. Or life is so hard that heroes weren't there for them, that only a villain can do right for those who need it. Being bad only means you oppose the mass. Exactly. Evil and good are very subjective. It's that gray area that people keep forgetting. It's not so black and white. In fact, it's not even gray. It's a mixture of beautiful, vibrant, and almost disgusting hues that you have to piece together and figure out what you can say you're comfortable with, or that you can understand, or that you yourself can look upon without much distaste. I like doing things where I make people judge, think, are we the bad guys? Should we be helping or really fighting this? I love giving that dilemma to my players, because I myself like reading stories like that. Because my favorite campaign, the Raptured Wings was what I called that campaign, where it's about dragon riders and their mounts, the dragons. I usually go back to dragons, but this is for a typical reason, where it's dragon riders versus the elemental grove, where people saw druids as actually harmful and they didn't like them. They did that because they realized druids were keeping certain lands safe and they wanted to expand, so they had to give valid reasons on killing and desolating these sacred lands. And so they decided to do a scheme to put dragon riders at risk of killing these druids, but then also at the end of it blaming dragon riders falsely accused these druids. So two types of societies were condemned by the masses, because no one wants to listen to the villains. They want to listen to the heroes. So that was my favorite one, where they had to fight draconic elementals. I love fae and elementals. Those are like my favorite creatures, and I don't really see them a lot in, or at least not used commonly in D&D. So I had that. Dragons were nearly extinct, and the druids had to go into hiding. And with that, they, out of outrage, anger, made a new society together, known as the way of the open palm. I believe that's what I called it. And on the palm, each finger on this open palm had a different color. So each finger represented an element and something of the body. The mind, the body, the heart, the soul, and the whole, I believe is... Actually, hold on, let me see if I still have that actually wiki real quick. Not wiki, I should say document. Hold on, I remember making this. I actually really loved it, and I was like gonna go hardcore in this campaign with it. And it just, things happen, unfortunately. That's just life, and I'm not upset by it. Where is it? Ah, elemental cultists, there they are. The Hand Witch Guides, that's what they're called. The Hand Witch Guides is what I called them. Let's see, which one was which? Bishop loved by land, Bishop treasured by water, Bishop cherished by wind, Vishu vowed by self, and Bishop adored by flame. The healer, the guide, the traveler, the agent, the enforcer. I went fucking ham with this ideal, that I really did enjoy it. And each finger represented each of these bishops. And I made elemental bosses. I think the fire one, the one adored by flame, I think I made that into a, I think of either, it was one of the two things I made. I either made it into a fire spider, orb spider, that weaved the sun into threads of flames to do shit, or I made that into a scorpion spider, and I don't remember which one I went with, actually. Is it correct to assume you like to use worldly concepts as— yes, yes I do. I love to use, because, like, honestly, I like reading, and I like lore, I like mythology, I like also certain, like, I try to, there was a time, too, I was trying to figure out what I want to do spiritually or religiously of what I wanted, so I would read and look at other things, and I took inspirations, and because of that, I actually decided, like, to write certain stuff, if you will. And so, yeah, so a lot of the concepts, like, modern day concepts, if you will, I decided to implement in my D&D campaigns. And then monsters I would based off mythology, or aspects, or even emotions. I wonder if I can share this. Hold on. Let me see if I can show this to you. Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Can I? Okay. Zoom in. Zoom. It's in dark mode because when I write, usually at night, I don't want to get fucking blinded. I forgot how to zoom in. Damn it. Damn it, Janet. Either way. How does one zoom in again? There we go. So, the cultists were known as the Hand Witch Guides, and underneath them were ruled by bishops, and each finger had a different ruler. The thumb was the traveler, the index was the guide, the middle was, the curse, which I believed I changed the name after a while, the ring, the agent, the pinky, the promise, also I decided to call a door by flame. And I had different things that I did with it, and I had like different little notes for my characters. I actually felt very sad for the thumb. The thumb, known as the Traveler, the Goliath, Cobble was a kind child, but in times of this war and conflict, kindness tend to be a weakness and an anchor. He did not have the best of endings, sadly. I actually felt very apologetic for the Traveler. Yeah. I also felt bad for the fucking Treasured by Water. She did not go very well either. Like, all these people became these fanatical cultists in their own right and manner, being evil because they weren't bad people. It's just this, when good people are abused too much, you have two options. You get up and fight back, or you just accept that abuse and die. And they had still a purpose in a meeting, and they could not die in vain, and they would not have let their people suffered in silence. And so they stood up and fought. And like, honestly, like, I wrote them and I was actually kind of like, damn, I'm kind of sad. I'm kind of sad. I made them sad. I mean, you probably should be happy, like, as a DM, if you make something and you personally, like, feel a certain attachment to it. You know, you even if your players don't enjoy it, at least you're happy with what you made. And thankfully, my players also, during the time, because I didn't actually get to finish chapter 1 with them. In fact, I only had two groups play this campaign, and I managed to make both of my groups feel bitterly accomplished. Like, they did the missions and they had to do what they're not, but they did not feel good doing it. When the greater good sometimes feels like a burden than an actual reward. Hey, good character development for your plays. Exactly. My husband was actually in one of those groups, and one of my other friends who used to be a streamer, RD13, he still till this day talks about it, because I might be the kind of person as a DM to give you like emotional turmoil, but I'd still do sillies. D&D, at the end of the day, you have to have some silly little things before you just get massively depressed, and we're already sad IRL. We need some funnies in our games. We don't need more depression in the things that we play to get away from the world. So I gave him a horse, and he said, I'm gonna call it Artorias. And I said, you know what? No matter where you're at, or how far he's from you, Artorias will always come when you call his name. And so, I didn't think about it until they went to a dungeon, and they got lost in it, and he's like, wait, I'm just gonna call Artorias. And I looked at him. Motherfucker, okay, you guys hear the bashing and the cracking that's muffled from the walls, but over time, this impact, this weight on the ground that shakes beneath you starts to grow, and the tremors become more of quakes as this derpy ass fucking horse with the tongue sticking out makes his way to your friend. Artorias has made you found the way out. yeah, and I'll sit there like, yeah, that's very fucking clever. I should have, you know what? Yeah, good for you. Good for you for remembering what you had. So they got out of a dungeon that was supposed to be really hard because the fucking derpy ass horse. The horse is cross-eyed. It steps in a way that you can't tell if it has 3 or 6 legs. It always looks drunk and its tongue is always out. So, and it's just it was the stupidest little thing, and he loved it to death. And my god, that horse has saved him so many times. In the middle of a fight, Artorias! Artorias rams into this fucking mini boss that you're having troubles with. Yes! Pin him to the ground, Artorias! So stupid. Sad hits harder if you sandwich it between. Exactly. I don't want to make my, like, I do depression apparently very well. I emotionally damage my players more so than I think I do. I try not to. I do sad very good. But I do funny shit like that where it's just, I had 3 idiots fucking, like, you know the ideal of like 3 kobolds in a trench coat? I had 3 little idiots stack on top of each other and charge at a fucking tree to get rid of it. And I'm like, Yeah, your guys' combined weight and his strength to keep you up managed to take down this tree and it starts to wither and die. I don't want to be rude, I generally enjoy listening, but I gotta go in a bit. That's fine. In fact, I was only gonna stream for 2 hours and it's 2:09 because I need to go make food for myself. So thank you for stopping by and talking about my world. I really do love nerding out about it. I don't get that much option to. I thought for 3K followers I would... You're welcome, dear. I was gonna make some monsters with some peeps here for 3K followers, but you know what? I might just do a Q&A like this again, because I do generally love talking about my world. There we go. We're gonna leave that out, and we're going to find somebody to raid now. Da 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 da. Who's alive? I don't know. I know I'm gonna die. That's all what my players say now for Monday. They're like, oh god, we're gonna fucking die. I'm like, no, you're not, maybe. Who shall I raid out today? Who's gonna be so brave? I might just say fuck it and roll the dice. How many people are that I know are alive right now? How many of y'all? How many of you are alive? How many of you alive? How many of you breathing? A good amount of it seems. Holy shit, there's a good amount. Oh god, do I have... Fuck. That's a lot of people. I'm going to choose somebody. Do not worry. Oh wait, they're alive. Let's go say hi to them. Hopefully they stay fucking alive too. We're gonna say hi to Hipster. These are the deers that I actually play D&D with. Thank you, and then have a nice rest, and good luck. Thank you, dear. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and to everybody who came by, both raids or just stay by, thank you kindly, because you know, the most you can ever do for me is always give me your time, because that's a resource that's like irreplaceable. So thank you again for those who are lurking and those for talking. I won't be streaming Monday or... No, I will be streaming Monday. I won't be streaming Sunday and Tuesday. Monday will be my D&D one-shot that the boys are going to be fighting another deadly encounter. And to those who don't know it, like I said before, we're going to be fighting this fucker and this fucker. Don't read the abilities. There's nothing to worry about. They will not die. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. Anyway... If you are sub to me, choose the first one. If not, choose the second one. But you know what? I ain't your dad, I ain't your stepdad. Choose whatever one you want. Just one's gonna look funkier than the other. But who cares? I ain't here to judge you out loud. Just JK. Anyway, have a lovely rest of your time and go say hi to Hitster for me. They're really lovely. Peace.